One of my favorite genres in literature is historical fiction. So when I pick up a Tracy Chevalier novel, I'm over the moon. I came across her long before The Girl with the Pearl Earring movie hysteria, and as a teenager, it was refreshing to discover a different way of looking at history. Her debut novel, The Virgin Blue, is my favorite so far, and quite suited for an October read. Here are my feelings about the book. Ella Turner discovers the history of her family along with the story of the Protestant Reformation, while tracing her mysterious dreams of blue through the south of France and Switzerland. Contemplative. And I couldn't tell you why. I should be either sad or revolted, maybe a little happy in the end, but as I burned through the pages, all I could think of was wow. A sort of lost in thought feeling between the hardships of centuries past, the losing oneself in the wrong marriage. I found myself quite impartial and reflective. Number 1. A sad but essential moment in history. It's not the most cheerful period in time, but I believe the 16th century Reformation is still today a lesson to be learned, both in the value of the concepts as in the errors of each side that generated bloody religious wars. In many ways, we find those exact basic urges of convincing others of the superiority of one's beliefs right here in our 21st century. One thing is certain, without the Reformation, we wouldn't have evolved to see the freedom of cult we so appreciate in the Western world today. Number 2. A case study of settling into a new culture. An American woman who discovers French and Swiss habits in everyday life. While at the beginning she seems very critical of all the differences she notices in France, jumping to Switzerland changes her tone, as she becomes purely observant and less judgmental. Finally, coming back to France, she finds herself almost comfortable in her new French life. Maybe a lesson to be learned from a fictional character's travels. Number 3. A lightness of writing. I have only admiration for the way American writers are able to tell sad stories without depressing me. And Tracy Chevalier is a perfect example of this easy, straightforward storytelling that does not lack elegance in any way, but manages to keep the general tone positive. I started off thinking we have two main characters, Ella in the 20th century and Isabelle in the 16th century. But in the end, I feel like the two combine in creating the true main character of the novel, the spirit of the woman, navigating a world of men, a world whose cruelty is sometimes painfully obvious, while at other times sly and manipulating under a veil of love and care. While Isabelle had little choice in her destiny, Ella lives a defining moment of self-knowledge and makes brave decisions that break the ancestral karma. A Yin story of Yang times. A cautionary tale of what happens when Yin and Yang lose their balance. And in the end, a moment of honesty. It was a funny thing. Once you tell your story to others, it becomes more like fiction and less like truth. A layer of performance is added to it, removing you further from the real thing. It's not a complicated one, yet so many of us get it wrong. Choose your partner wisely and consider your reasons for starting a family very carefully. We all know many couples, each with their own success story or failure to find common goals. There is no recipe, except time and reflection. And I believe these two investments are not too much to ask in exchange for a happy life. To whet your appetite for some history refreshers, and maybe start making your own genealogy tree. It's not only for teachers, you know. Now, if the book could be considered the main course, the side dishes, the salad, pairing the appropriate wines and putting on the right music is just as important for me. While reading The Virgin Blue, my mind wandered off to some pretty interesting subjects. Let's talk colors. Too bright, too dull, the perfect shade, or just not quite. Like perfume, the sense of color is incredibly personal. Neuroscientists agree that it is impossible to match someone else's perception of a color, as our brains have unique ways of linking the signals received through our eyes. But in this infinite possibility situation, how is it that the color blue seems to be the world's favorite color? A survey conducted in 2017 showed that from a panel of 30,000 people across 100 countries, the majority chose a specific shade of blue as their favorite color. One explanation could be the fact that most of the things we associate with the color blue are positive or neutral, like the sky, clear water, blue jeans, or ink. Psychologists have many interpretations possible, including the calmness that blue seems to induce. In China, blue represents immortality, while in Japan, indigo blue is often used in art and clothing to symbolize the vast ocean surrounding its islands. In Iran, blue is the color of mourning, and the German group of painters called the Blue Rider thought blue symbolized spirituality and eternity. The book made me reflect about my personal feelings towards the color, and even though it is not my absolute favorite, I do have some favorite blue items. Art historians have long studied the types of pigment used in different eras. And when it comes to blue, extracting the rich and deep shade of lapis lazuli and putting it on a canvas is fascinating. It just so happens that lapis lazuli is a semi-precious gemstone I particularly like. The most notable extraction mines are found in Afghanistan, where the quality of the gemstones is remarkable. But you can find lapis lazuli in many parts of the world. The delicate lines of pyrite that cross such a unique dark blue are an eternal mystery to me. As all blue crystals, lapis lazuli is very useful for your throat and thyroid, as it gently rebalances an energy center so easily disrupted. It can improve your communication skills, and by calming the general vibration of the body, it can help with headaches and mild stress-induced symptoms. I, for one, enjoy meditating in the evening with the lapis lazuli in my hand. I find that it connects me to the night sky and brings me calmer dreams up there between the stars. Tracy Chevalier's novel is not very big on food in general. We either learn about the lack of food in the 16th century or the simple boulangerie in a little village in the south of France. So on this one, I let myself be inspired by the general atmosphere. And what I seem to be craving while reading is a warming, creamy butternut squash soup. I have tested many recipes throughout the years, and I ended up combining a South Asian vibe with a classic French herb. The step-by-step recipe is as always on my website, So I leave you with the music to dream of yummy flavors and get inspired. My time travel ends here for today. I hope that you'll give the Virgin Blue a try, and if you already have, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, enjoy your reading and your rituals.